Hey everybody, it's Jesse with the Leduc Group at Kick Realty, and I wanted to hop on here and do another market update because the real estate market is changing and it's changing rapidly. So, to give you some context, as we know, over the last couple of years, things have been nuts. If you're selling a house, no problem, right? Prices have gone through the roof, the days on market has drastically dropped, inventory levels have been almost at historic lows. So, as a home seller, it was awesome. A home buyer, not so much. It's been pretty tough sledding. So over the last couple of years, in Leduc, we've always kind of had between like 60 and 80 homes for sale at any given time, single family homes, which is very, very low. Okay. I mean, it even got down to some points where there was like 40 houses available in the entire city, but really it was between about 60 and 80 homes at any given time. And when you look at how many people are buying homes on a monthly basis, the absorption rate or the number of months worth of inventory we had available over the last 2 years it fluctuates between about half a month to about 1.5 months, which means if at that time, if nobody else listed their home for sale, it would take between a half to 1.5 months for them all to sell based on the absorption rate. Okay. And that's really the best metric we have to gauge where we're at in a real estate market. Are we in a seller's market? Are we in a buyer's market? Are we somewhere in the middle? Okay, so 60 to 80 homes available at any given time, half a month to 1.5 month worth of inventory. Well, what are we at today? Well, it's changed and it's changed in a hurry. So just in the last like 60 days or so, the inventory levels have more than doubled. We have about 150 homes for sale. I think it's 147 as of this morning, which is August 12th. So they've more than doubled in the last 60 days or so. And the in-migration from other provinces has slowed. So what does that mean? They're now taking longer to sell. And we've gone from, like I said, around 1 month worth of inventory to about 4.6 months worth of inventory. So if this stays kind of steady for the next number of months, which is my prediction, it's going to be a much more balanced market, right? And so what does that mean for you? Well, to be honest, I think this is good for everybody. If you're a home seller, and you're in and around 5 grand, you're not going to sell in 3 days with six offers, likely. Okay. That's kind of probably going to start slowing down. Um, if you're a home buyer, there's more to choose from, and you don't have to be in this mad panic to go out there and buy something on day one when it's on the market. You may still compete with some other buyers because it is still a pretty robust market, even at those numbers, but it's not going to be a complete meat market like it has been the last couple of years. Okay, so look, to be honest, I think this is good for everybody, realtors included. It calms things down a little bit. I can actually plan my week when we go out with buyers to look at stuff because it's not just like go, 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 So I think it's good for everybody. It's a much more balanced market. If you're somebody who wants to sell something in order to buy something else, it becomes much easier to do that. The timing of this will work out a lot better because that's been the most difficult thing over the last couple of years is anybody who has to move equity from one house to the other, man, it's been tough. And I've been in that situation personally, and it was rough. You either have to find a place to stay because you're homeless, or you end up settling for something you don't really want, or you have to really, really hope that your home sells in time because you already bought something, right? It can be very, very challenging. So it should get a little bit easier here over the next few months. So now, when I'm saying this, I'm using general terms and average homes and things like that. There are still going to be outliers on either side of this, right? So if you have something like under 400, it's still crazy. It's still going to sell incredibly fast. If you're trying to buy something in that price range, good luck. I wish you well. It's going to be very, very difficult. You start getting into the $500,000 mark and over, that's really kind of what I'm talking about. The average price of a house in Leduc is just shy of 500 grand. So when I'm looking at homes in Leduc and getting these numbers, that's where I'm pulling it from, right? It's your typical 2,000-ish square foot, two-story home with a double front attached garage. I know there's lots of other styles of homes, but when you look at Leduc, and the vast majority of Leduc is 25 years or newer, that's the types of homes that are available, right? So again, if you got something for 425 in South Park that's in really good shape, yeah, she's gone, right? But you got a 2,400 square foot two-story house with a double front attached garage in, Windrose. It could take a little while just because the number of homes you're competing with has risen drastically over the last couple of months. So the market's changing. I think for the better. I'm looking forward to a more balanced market. The question is, how long will the balanced market last? Balanced markets don't last very long. They kind of shift between sellers and buyers very, very quickly, and there's not a lot of room or time in that middle ground. But with everything that's going on in the, sort of the country and everything else, I do foresee that kind of sticking around here for the next little while. The biggest reason why the demand isn't quite as high as it has been over the last number of years is because all these folks moving from BC and Ontario, although they may still have a desire to do that because they have a ton of equity in their house, and they want to come here, get a better paying job, whatever. Cost of living is just so much better out here. That's great. They can do it. They have the equity in order to do it. The problem is those markets have completely tanked and you can't sell a house there. It's incredibly difficult to sell a house there. Nothing is moving. So even if somebody has their house for sale and they have 600 grand worth of equity, they're going to come out here and buy a $500,000 house with cash. That's great in theory. Problem is their house won't sell. So it's really slowed down that immigration from other provinces. So there you go. There's a little kind of update on where we're at. Market is changing. If you got questions on how this will relate to you and your situation, please feel free to let me know.